What is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. SmackDown Live tonight began to build towards the most bullshit World Cup tournament I have ever seen in my life, and we are going to talk about it right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and this is your SmackDown Live review and results show right here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
All right, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me. They started to simultaneously build towards the Evolution pay-per-view and Crown Jewel at the same time tonight. We all know that the ladies aren't allowed to be at the Crown Jewel show, so they get their own show simultaneously, just like the men are going to have their own show, and I think the whole thing is just way too much. I'm starting to feel a little bit burnt out on wrestling. I'm one of the most die-hard wrestling fans, as many of you guys are. Sometimes you can't get enough wrestling in your life, but when the wrestling is coming at us, the quality that we are getting out of this company, it's just becoming too much. They promised us at one point last year we were going to have less pay-per-views. We've only seen them almost double. We are getting 3 pay-per-views in the span of 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and it's just too much. It's affecting the shows altogether on a weekly basis, and I am just getting so damn tired of WWE's lack of creative motivation. I really did not enjoy tonight's show tonight. I didn't hate it, and yeah, it was better than Raw, but what did we say last week? That is just not good enough anymore. There were a lot of things on this show tonight that absolutely drove me nuts. Now, they didn't drive me into a screaming, irate rage like you will see last night on the Monday Night Raw review, but there are some issues that need to be talked about. I'm seeing everybody, oh, what a great show. This is such a good show, bro. Mr. Nightmare, are you watching the show? Of course I'm fucking watching the show. It's my job to watch the show. I'm going to review the show for you knuckleheads right now, and I'm going to tell you to not get so damn excited. Because, well, what we saw tonight included some decent wrestling action, and it feels better than what we get dressed in red on a Monday night. This show was all over the place, man. And this show, SmackDown Live, is another victim of the WWE time warp that we are apparently being forced to travel through. We are having to accept a World Cup tournament to decide the best in the world. First of all, the best in the world is CM Punk. That's his name. That was his thing. If you don't want to give it to him, maybe you hate CM Punk, you're not a CM Punk guy like I am, then you know who else is the best in the world and has used that line over and over? Chris Jericho. In WWE, you just made the list for gimmick infringement, because how are you going to crown somebody the best in the world when you don't even have the best wrestlers in the world right now in this tournament? Don't you dare look at me and tell me that John Cena and Kurt Angle are 2 of the best wrestlers in the world today. In Kurt Angle's case, absolutely he was, at one point, one of the best wrestlers, if not the best wrestler of his generation. Cena, we all know that's not the case, so just by those 2 being in this tournament, this whole thing is a crock of shit. And then look at what we've seen coming out of tonight's SmackDown Live. They added Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy. So the WWE World Cup for Crown Jewel is really shaping up to be a fantastic pay-per-view if this were the year 2008. 10 years ago, this was a top-notch card that they're working towards. Look at what we got next week. We're going to have Rey Mysterio coming back in his debut match at the SmackDown Live 1000 Spectacular, right? And he's going to fight Shinsuke Nakamura, the United States Champion, who we have not seen tonight at all. And do you think Rey Mysterio is going to lose? I don't. He's going to be inserted in this World Cup. So effectively, the first 5 entrants in this World Cup match are either semi-retired or semi-active, with the exception of Randy Orton, but he is still part of that older generation. So this is bullshit. You want to hear a World Cup You want to see what the WWE should be building? First of all, a World Cup should be featuring contestants from around the world. We still have 4 slots to fill, but at the rate they're going, they are not going to do what's right. This is what would have been right. You need 10 contestants, right? We're not even going to acknowledge the brand split. I got you the perfect World Cup tournament that would have blew the roof off of the entire wrestling industry. You could have had Finn Balor from Ireland, Pete Dunne from UK, Andrade Cien Almas from Mexico, AJ Styles representing the United States, Shinsuke Nakamura representing Japan, Seth Rollins representing the United States, Buddy Murphy from Down Under in Australia, and from Scotland, Drew McIntyre. There's a World Cup tournament worth fucking watching, with actual contestants that can be considered among the best in the world in their weight class or in wrestling all together. Maybe you want to substitute Seth Rollins with a Daniel Bryan, or you take Buddy Murphy out, put Daniel Bryan just for the name value, but those are 8 names that could have been and should have been in this World Cup. And why does Randy Orton have to qualify in a matchup, in a legitified matchup? Kurt Angle gets to go in on a joke. John Cena don't even have to do shit. But Randy Orton has to earn his way in. Jeff Hardy has to earn his way in. And to do this, you're going to sacrifice a guy like Samoa Joe. What the hell was Samoa Joe doing on the show tonight? If his leg was that bad, how was he even allowed out into the arena to wrestle? Samoa Joe losing in whatever fashion tonight, coming off of a loss to the champ just a few days ago, is unacceptable. They need to be reestablishing Joe as the monster he is, showing that AJ Styles got lucky that he hurt himself, but instead you got him coming out here tonight and losing, being taken out of the world title picture altogether seemingly, trying to go for a World Cup? What the fuck does Samoa Joe want with a meaningless World Cup? It means nothing. They might as well call it the Legends Cup, or the Old Timers Cup, or the Part Timers Cup. Make it a golden walker. You know, like your grandpa has, only cover it in gold. That should be the fucking trophy for this tournament. What the hell does Samoa Joe want with a World Cup? It makes no sense. And then you have him come out, he hurts his leg in the match. Oh, and now Samoa Joe can't continue? Samoa Joe can't continue? That sentence coming through these lips just feels wrong. That should never have been made the finish. This should never have been made a match. Absolutely disrespectful to a man that should be crowned the WWE champion at some point. I am fully convinced at this moment that Samoa Joe will never, ever be a champion in the WWE. He's going to suffer the same fate as Shinsuke Nakamura. They had him right there. The moment was there. It was ripe and ready for the taking. And then they sidestepped it so that AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan can fight in Saudi Arabia. AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan, along with The Miz, was the only thing on this night that made me feel good at all. That whole Miz TV segment was absolutely fantastic. The one saving moment of this show. The rest of the show, I still have a lot that we have to pick apart, because Becky Lynch still being booked in a heel manner, trying to run away from the matchup, trying to get herself counted out, is unacceptable. The crowd was fully behind Becky Lynch once again on this night, booing the woo consistently. But no, Charlotte has to be booked to look fantastic. Charlotte Flair has to put Becky Lynch through the Titantron screen and bust up her hand and cut her hand open in the process. And this was good, but the match was not. The match that they had at Super Showdown was much better than this. I feel like every time Charlotte and Becky are getting in the ring together, their level of quality diminishes just so much each and every time. I gave them props on the last show. Any of you guys that watched the Super Showdown review, you know I said this might have been the best match I've seen out of them. This was definitely nothing even close. It was entertaining, yes, but there was just very slow and sluggish movements coming out of Charlotte Flair. Becky Lynch seemingly having a little bit of difficulty. Can you really still be suffering from jet lag 2.5 to 3 full days after you touch down in your new continent? Is that really a thing? I'm not a fly guy. You know, I don't go on airplanes. I've never left the United States. Any one of you guys that maybe have experienced jet lag, why don't you guys tell me? Because I don't fucking know if that's even humanly possible. Because that's the reason Tom Phillips wanted to keep throwing out there, oh, it's possible that they still are feeling the effects of the jet lag. Are you serious? Or are they just friggin' tired? And maybe this match shouldn't have been booked for this night. How about that? I didn't enjoy it nearly as much as I enjoyed some of the other stuff that they did. The big, spot at the end going through the screen. Of course, everybody's going to enjoy that. You didn't expect it. But I heard the screams of agony coming from Charlotte Flair. I knew something immediately was wrong in a real way. And then when they showed Charlotte bleeding from the arm, I was a little bit concerned. But I'm glad to report to you guys that there was nothing major. Probably just some pretty deep lacerations. Maybe some stitches were involved, but she is clear to continue and compete tonight later on in the Mixed Match Challenge with AJ Styles. So no harm, no foul. No update on the condition of Becky Lynch, though. Right? Oh, what? Charlotte was bleeding. The Queen had a boo-boo. We saw her royal blood. Oh, it was Flair blood on the TV. We have to make sure everybody knows she's okay. What about the champ? Is the champ okay? Does anybody want to tell me about how Becky Lynch is feeling right now? She was the one put through the goddamn screen. She wasn't moving. She was lifeless. That's the last we saw of Becky Lynch. She was a lifeless corpse amongst the rubble. What happened to the champ? More disrespect. They don't even see it. And there is more disrespect to be talked about because they want to have Paige come out. Oh, hello, everybody. My lips are very duckish tonight, and my hair is so short, and I look very witchy because it's October, you guys, and I have to tell you that we are going to have the first ever last woman standing at Evolution. Paige is wrong. It's not the first ever anything. Unless you want to specifically quarter it into SmackDown Live. Or if you want to be a dick, you can say the first time ever on the main roster. But the fact is that WWE had a last woman standing match already. And it involved Asuka, who's now a dancing clown and couldn't even make air tonight, going up against Nikki Cross in one of my favorite matches from the women's division in NXT. So either the WWE truly doesn't acknowledge NXT's existence, which we all know by the way that they push the guys and the talent that they get from them. They don't give a shit about NXT. They're a fart in the wind. It doesn't make a difference to them. Smell it if you want to, but we're going to ignore it. They're not even there. What they do don't count. And if they would just apply that, just a fraction to the show, leaps and bounds it would improve. I just think they tried way too hard with this Aiden English thing. Alright, they piqued everybody's interest. We got one night in Milwaukee. And we all knew what was coming. Anybody with half a brain could have told you. You guys knew. I know you knew. You're not stupid. You're watching the TV. And you knew last week that whatever footage Aiden English had was going to lead to him either being slapped in the face by Lana or some awkward, weird no, which is what we saw from Lana to him when he made his ridiculous advance. But my problem with this only is in the way it was revealed. Rusev says, Aiden English, you've got hacked. Who the fuck hacked him? Rusev? Did Lana hack him? Did WWE's soundboard guy hack him? And if he was hacked, how did they get this hacked footage? How did they get the hacked footage to the guys in the truck? Whose footage were we watching initially? It's just a logistics thing. Maybe you might seem like I'm nitpicking, but what the hell does that even mean? Why couldn't they have just been, Lana been like, hey, listen, Aiden, I know the guys in the truck. They're a good friend of mine back there. I already told him to play the footage, so please, my friend in the truck, play the footage. Or maybe you could have said, Rusev paid the guys in the truck to play the footage so that we can have this all put behind us. You got hacked? None of it made sense. How does being hacked translate to Lana getting the footage and having it delivered on the Titantron at the exact same time that Aiden English's footage was already up there? Somebody in the truck in the back is a hacker in the WWE? Explain it to me. Because it didn't make sense. That's them trying too hard. Rein it back a little bit. Look at what you got to work with. Stop trying to be too creative, and let's just be creative. You know, when you try too hard, you get lines like that. You've been hacked. Which doesn't mean anything, and it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. No tag team division action tonight. No universal title on the show tonight. That always pisses me off. But we did have AJ Styles wrestling again tonight, and he was put up against Shelton Benjamin following the excellent Miz TV segment that had Daniel Bryan face-to-face with AJ Styles. And the Miz was the heater here. The only reason he's involved was to stir the pot, because truly what he is saying is actually a fact. AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan, on paper, is a great match, but as far as the build, it comes off as a little stale, a little boring. These guys have absolutely no heat with each other. The only thing that they want is the WWE Championship. At the end of the day, that should be the most important thing, and I love what Daniel Bryan said tonight, how he didn't come back to be in Team fucking Hell No with Kane. He didn't come back to go fight with this clown, The Miz. He came back to get back his championship. That's the most important thing to him, and AJ Styles is the man with the belt, and this is where we find ourselves now, and I thought that was very, very good. Everything that happened in that segment was very good. AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan face-to-face seemed like they were going to start to get into a little bit of a vocal tirade against one another, but then they just turned it back on The Miz, which was the entire theme of this whole thing. The Miz was trying to stir the pot, and Daniel Bryan wanted to call him a 2-minute man and make references to about how quickly he put an end to The Miz at the Super Showdown last Saturday. And AJ Styles would get in on all the fun and deliver all the same kind of one-liners, and he also wanted to know just how good it made Daniel Bryan feel to punch The Miz in the face. And this would just send The Miz off into a tirade. He went outside the ring and he told everybody, I talked to Paige and she made this whole match with AJ Styles and Shelton Benjamin, the man that beat Daniel Bryan last week, and he's going to come out and beat AJ Styles this week, and it doesn't matter who wins at the Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia. Miz's got next. Miz taking his quarter, putting it up on the screen, calling next on the handball court for the World Heavyweight Championship. It doesn't work that way. As great as this was, it doesn't work that way. You can't just call next for the WWE Championship. That's not how it works. He did have a valid argument. He's beaten Daniel Bryan at every turn, all the way up until the Super Showdown. He's got a right to try to claim the #1 contendership, and I understand all that, but just having The Miz call next, it's not how it works. We're not playing street basketball here, guys. We're not in the arcade lining up to get next in Street Fighter. Right? The quarter on the board don't work. The Miz should have had to have done something to qualify simultaneously in order to fight for the championship. I don't like championship opportunities just being given. I also don't like when the WWE has a prime situation to make a new star or to elevate somebody to the next level and absolutely drop the ball. Shelton Benjamin came out there tonight and put on a great match with AJ Styles, just like he gave us a great match last week with Daniel Bryan. He won against Daniel Bryan last week. He should have won again this week. There was no need for AJ Styles to have won this match the way he did tonight. It doesn't matter if he would have lost. He just came off of a very big win, beating Samoa Joe at the Super Showdown. If he would have lost to Shelton Benjamin due to the interference of The Miz, or possibly start some beef with Daniel Bryan, maybe Daniel Bryan and The Miz get to business on the outside instead of just wasting their mouth on the commentary booth, which was actually pretty entertaining. But they could have got up, gotten to a thing on the outside, maybe drew AJ's attention to them. Maybe Daniel Bryan accidentally punches AJ in the face or at some point, and then AJ Styles ends up losing the match to Shelton Benjamin as a result. Simultaneously, they could have started to light a fire underneath AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan, all at the same time, while elevating Shelton Benjamin to a little bit higher on the friggin' ladder of despair, which is the WWE mid-card. Shelton Benjamin with back-to-back wins versus Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles, while AJ Styles was the WWE champion, immediately raises his stock back to gold because he is the gold standard who's being treated like a piece of bronze. There was no need for that. If you want to make everybody a star, you need to start making new stars. Shelton Benjamin already has star power. He's already had a tenure in the WWE. You can do your time capsule jump if you want to with Shelton Benjamin. But at least make him more. You had the opportunity. I just laid it out to you guys. I'm not going to repeat it again. Shelton Benjamin should have won that match. Unacceptable. And then to have the whole entire show end with the return of the... Does anybody care? Nobody in the arena certainly cared. The only thing they cared about was how long it was going to take Randy Orton to deliver an RKO and get this 7-foot monstrosity off my television screen. We didn't want to see him a year ago when he was fighting Braun Strowman. He was the only person on the roster that he had left to fight. Time hopping again. Big Show versus Randy Orton, a 2005 main event from SmackDown Live. Unbelievable. Unbelievable how stuck in the past they are right now. Because the ratings are failing on such an epic level. That they have to go back to when the times were good. Let's go back to the golden age. Remember?
You guys remember? I remember. Remember when wrestling was great? I remember. Oh, yeah, I remember.
That's what's happening over there. These guys are getting drunk on member berries in the WWE creative department. They can't get their head out of the past. We talked about it last night in our Back to the Future themed WWE Raw review, and we absolutely nailed it. Just like we did here tonight. That was your show tonight, you guys. We had Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair end in a double count out, which followed by the big spot. Jeff Hardy defeats Samoa Joe in the World Cup qualifier due to a referee stoppage. We had Paige making the last woman standing match for Evolution. We had the Miz TV segment, which was absolutely fantastic. AJ Styles defeated Shelton Benjamin in a non-title match, which shouldn't have happened. And then we had the Aiden English bullshit one night in Milwaukee failure of a reveal. And then we had Randy Orton defeat the Big Show for his World Cup qualifier. Nobody gave a shit. They were just happy the show was over and the Mixed Match Challenge was about to start. Next week, you guys, it's SmackDown 1000. You know what would be amazing is if we could hit 1,000 subscribers before SmackDown Live 1000, or which would be even more fun, is on the SmackDown Live 1000 review is when we hit 1K, would just be something special for my soul. You know, I'm a numbers guy, and I like when numbers coincide, and weird little coincidences like that are fucking awesome. So let's not make it so much of a coincidence. Let's make it happen. We got 1 week for all of you sledgeheads to share the shit out of this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world so that they too can be infected with the hammer of knowledge, the hammer of truth and justice, the sledgehammer of professional wrestling. And that resides right here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Thank you all so very, very much. Each and every one of my loyal comment heads, my sledge heads down in the comment section. Get down there right now. Let me know if you were as disappointed with SmackDown Live tonight as I was. Let me know if you agree with all my points and everything that I have to say, as you guys usually do, because you guys are not stupid. I never tell you guys that you are stupid, because if you're watching me, you have a brain. So you need to bring more people with our kind of brains into this show. Subscribe right now. Get us to 1K before or by next Tuesday, and there will be a special 1,000 subscriber video coming at you guys, and we are going to celebrate in a big way as we once again become legit on YouTube ever since they put those stupid rules into effect, and we can start making some cash. And when we make the cash, we can make the show better for you guys. just as much as we could make it better for me. So let's do it as a group. Let the Sledgehammer Army come out in full force, and let's subscribe like crazy, you guys. Let's get to 1K. You see what it's doing to me? It's getting me all excited. So, that being said, all of you loyal subscribers, hit that thumbs up, bro. What are you waiting for? We're at 25 minutes. I wrapped this thing up in under a half an hour for you guys because last night and the last few episodes have been so friggin' long. I've been talking like that guy from the Micro Machines commercial back in the 80s just to try to get this thing out for you guys in a nice, speedy fashion. Don't get used to it because, you know, I'm not always this amped up and I can't always talk this fast. But anyway, hit that thumbs up. Let's try to get this video to be the first video to hit 100 likes. I know more than 100 of you watch each and every one of these videos, so if you're here still and you haven't hit the thumbs up by now, which I don't know why you did not, do it right now. Do it with me. Bang! Thumbs up. That's all it takes. Let me know that you enjoy the show and that you will be back for more by hitting that subscribe button, that notification button, and sharing this video with everybody. Let's take over the world, you guys. We are a team. We are a family here, and I can't do it without you, so let's make it happen. My name, which I know most of you already know, is Nick Nightmare. This is my team. You know them and you love them. He is Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, and the Wrestling God of Thunder, his tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world. He is Mr. Blue, and we so pleased to be with you. Thank every single one of you bastards for being here with me tonight. That is going to do it. We are out of here, and we will see you next time right here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. You'll love it.